Hey Bat fans, Luke here, bringing you one more special video before we close out the weekend. We're going to go do a little Bat Chat session about two movies that recently came out in the Bat world. And of course, I'm going to steal a line from my good friend Sergeant America. These are two movies that I'm really late to the party finally watching, but conditions and, to be honest, my own personal choice kind of led me to watch these movies a little late. The first one we'll discuss is Batman the Killing Joke. Yes, I am probably about a good 2 weeks behind on watching this, but it was done intentionally. One, I was waiting for the Blu-ray to come out to watch it. I did have a theater that was showing it. I think that was the Monday before it was released on DVD. However, work, I just couldn't get out. So, and of course, that sucked. But, be that as it may, I finally got my hands on Blu-ray version. And kind of waited this weekend to watch it. Kids are out, so perfect time to watch it. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about the video. And more or less my thoughts on it. It's been out for quite some time now, so I really don't think I need to really worry about spoilers at this point. One, if you read the book, not really going to be spoiled. And plus, the thing that pretty much everyone has talked about is pretty much well known at this point as far as the first 30 minutes of the movie. So, spoilers ahead, I guess. So, overall, Batman the Killing Joke. Super, super stoked for this to come out when it was announced. What was this? I think it was like late winter, if I remember right, that this was going to be released. And to be perfectly honest, it's a tough movie, I think, to make, only because the source material is so dang important and so well known, and people hold it in either high regard or can't stand. There is a contingent of people just really does not like that story, but me, I love it. But it's making a movie on something that really is very prominent in the Bat lore. So that's a lot of pressure going into it. And I think what comes with a lot of pressure also comes with a lot of high expectations. I think people were going to expect a godsend movie when this came out, for this thing to be flawless in its execution and really hold up to the story, when in reality I don't know if you can do that. I think the smallest misgiving on this movie really just get amplified 10,000%, simply because of a story that it's based off of. So, again, a lot of high expectations going into this. And maybe, again, under a magnifying lens, simply because of the source material it was based off of. So, go ahead and address the elephant in the room, the first 30 minutes. Myself, I kind of enjoyed it, to be perfectly honest. Let's go ahead and talk to the bigger elephant in the room, the sex scene between Babs and Bruce, or technically Batgirl Batman on the roof. I wasn't so shocked when basically I heard about it before I even watched the movie. You couldn't avoid the subject. You really couldn't. I mean, before watching the movie, it was everywhere, so avoid solicits all you want. That was pretty hard to avoid, and I heard about it. And when I heard about it, I know a lot of people were kind of upset, but to me, to be honest, again, not really all that surprised. It was kind of hinted at it before in other stories. Maybe not directly, but it was hinted at it. So the fact that it was sort of there, obviously it wasn't, they didn't see him. They didn't show him doing it in the movie, but definitely it wasn't like tongue-in-cheek. It was like almost right in your face. Almost. without it actually happening. So, to me, again, I kind of really wasn't all that shocked, because if you read your Batman, it's sort of inferred that there is a quasi-relationship between Bruce and Barbara that goes beyond, mentor-mentee, trainer-trainee, Batman, Batgirl. So, but that aside, I thought it was a good Batgirl story. How even goes beyond Batgirl. Sometimes Batman can get really controlling of a situation, and sometimes his sidekicks or his partners kind of want to get beyond the shadow of Batman, kind of break loose of the Batman shackles, if you will, and sometimes in doing so, there's some consequences to it. Not saying that Batman's always right, but that sometimes happens. And this was a good example of one of those situations happening. Which overall, again, I enjoyed it. Was the lunatic, crime family nephew dude, what's it, Francisco, I think? I can't remember his name. I think that was a little bit of a stretch as far as infatuation with Batgirl, but it was a good story. I mean, it felt like literally I was watching a new episode of the animated series, to be perfectly honest. Throw in some really vulgar language here and there, and some more blood. A lot more blood. So, it was good in that effect, like, yeah, I was getting a new animated series episode. It was fresh, it was unique, and they took chances on it, which, again, I enjoyed it. The feature film. I think the animation for, I'd say about, even a feature, even including the first 30 minutes. The animation, I thought, was really well handled. I think the only hiccup they had with the animation is where sometimes it's just the way it kind of was executed when people were running. It felt like the background was moving really fast, and it looked like someone was running on a treadmill about 5 miles an hour slower than what the background was moving, to be honest. So that kind of threw me off a little bit. But other than that, one more, Batman's cowl, the ears made him look a little bit more like a devil than a bat, to be honest. But take those little twerks aside, I thought the animation was awesome. I thought the art was great. Batgirl kind of looked like the Batgirl from the animated series, to be honest. And that's in the first 30 minutes. And the feature film, it was great. It was kind of hard to follow up, Brian Holland's art. So, again, high expectations kind of going into just the animation in the movie just because of the art. But that said, it was really good, well done. I really enjoyed the Joker's design. And, again, animation top-notch. Voices, my God, was it great to have Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill do the voices on the main story, on the feature part of the film. It was literally the dialogue coming right out of the book. And it was just so good to hear their voices execute those points of dialogue from that great story. And it really was like reading the book, and you got two of the most iconic Bat voices reading the story to you. Which in reality, I thought it did keep true to the source material. They didn't really deviate left or right from it. And it was executed really well. So, yeah, the voices were just great. Barbara's was good. Commissioner Gordon's, I thought was good up until, he gets to the point where Batman shows up at the theme park. And he's like, we got to show him our way works. We need it done by the book. I just thought the way it was executed, the voice sounded just a little off. But be that as it is, again, Hamill and Conroy, my God, was it just great to hear them again. Just really, and again, the best part was the main part of the story, the Killing Joke proper, they didn't deviate much from the story and the source material. So it was literally like reading the book and hearing their voice, much like when many people read, Batman and Joker stories, whether it's, Endgame, or is it, Death of the Family, or whatever it may be, The Man Who Laughs, whatever. Some people, when they read the book, they hear, Mark Hamill's voice as the Joker in their head as they're reading Joker parts, and they hear Kevin Conroy, his voice as they're reading Batman stories. So it was just so good to hear that. But yeah, I mean, The Killing Joke I enjoyed it. Was it perfect? No. I think it got its fair share of unfair share of criticism, to be honest. Because I think point blank again, because so many people, I don't think, maybe not so many people, might not be the right. Since there is a contingent of people who feel very strongly that The Killing Joke really dismisses the Barbara Gordon character and degrades her, her relevance, I think that contingent of people definitely didn't like this video or this movie. I hope they enjoy this video that I'm doing. At least consider it a relevant point of view. I mean, it's just my opinion. It's not fact. Then again, too, there's a contingent out there say, how dare you even try to put any type of twist on The Killing Joke on the source material. You make a movie, blah, blah, blah. So there are some, again, then there are some who just, if it's not perfect, it's trash. It's not worth it because it's, how dare you smear the legacy. And again, things kind of, I was talking about earlier, things get magnified because it's The Killing Joke. So those points of views I kind of take into consideration. But me, I enjoyed the heck out of it. It was fun. It was just a great time. The Blu-ray was awesome. You get a little figure, which I gave my son. Actually, no, that's in my office at work. I gave him the Nightwing version. It's a mother movie. Oh, it was Robin. That's right. It was in the Batman, Robin, Son of Batman movie. I gave him the Damien figure. But yeah, so this gives you this nice little Joker figure. In addition to that, a lot of good bonus material. You get the Christmas with the Joker episode and on Old Wounds, the animated series episode. A couple good documentaries, and then they have the many different shades of Joker. It's like a 30-minute documentary on the Joker character and on The Killing Joke. It's really good. All for like $20-some. So, all in all, I enjoyed The Killing Joke. Perfect? No. Did it really get some unfair scrutiny? I believe it did. And that being said, I enjoyed it. I would give this a 3.5 out of 5, flirting on a 4, to be honest. But screw it. I'll give it a 4. 4 out of 5. It was awesome. And one I'll definitely be watching again as we progress through time. The next movie we're going to talk about is one I just watched yesterday, and that was The Suicide Squad. Now, I'm not going to go too far in depth again because I don't want to keep this video too long. We're already at 13 and a half minutes or so. But I think this is a case, again, of maybe some unfair scrutiny. Overall, I enjoyed the hell out of it. Was it perfect? No, because I can tell you there's a couple things I kind of shook my head about. The editing, that seems to be a popular complaint. That, yeah, it was a little choppy at points. I think the best example is when the squad and, oh God, what's his name? The captain? Or the colonel? What is his name? Colonel? I forget. They're going through the town, and it was one of those ones where they had on the trailer where Harley smashes the glass and gets the purse, and the guy's like, "What's wrong with you people?" And Harley goes, "We're bad guys. This is what we do." That really, the scene came out of nowhere in the movie. It was some other action going on, and they cut right to that scene, and they went off somewhere totally different. So that was an example of that, and it did happen more than once throughout the movie. What else? Slipknot was a throwaway thing, and I'm not talking about my favorite band, Slipknot. I'm talking about the character Slipknot. He was all in it for about, I don't even know. He was shown as arriving as they were leaving Belle Reve, and then as soon as they got on ground in the city, he took a chance to escape and got his head blown off. It was as pointless of a character as ever. Other than maybe to serve the point that, yeah, this is why they can't escape. That is really what will happen. They're not playing. Other than that, Slipknot's appearance was horrible. Let's see what else. I think really as far as bad, that's really about it. Batman's appearance was great throughout. I think all of it, maybe 10 minutes throughout the whole entire movie. And we'll even throw in Bruce Wayne in there as well. He does make a cameo. If you haven't seen it, make sure you stay past the initial credits. But yeah, his cameos are great. Maybe one more technical gripe I had on that in the movie was Batman's, I think, initial appearance. No, it wasn't his initial one. No, it was, yeah, because Deadshot was first. When Deadshot was walking with his daughter in Gotham, going down the alley, and Amanda Waller kind of gives hey, we got the tip. We gave this anonymous source a tip to go get him, and it turned out to be Batman. Batman's going to get him, but as he descends from the sky to the ground to get the Deadshot, it looked like that scene we saw in Tim Burton's Batman and the original Batman when who are you? I'm Batman. That is a scene where he kind of comes from the top of the roof, from the steam down, and they really over exaggerated the cape and kind of like he's gliding down. It was when Batman did that with Deadshot. I thought it was like trying to knock off that concept, but they really didn't execute it all that well. But other than that, Batman's appearance in the movie was great. I enjoyed the heck out of it, and it just kind of serves as kind of like the stitching in a quilt, the big quilt being the DC universe, how certain things are going to bind everything together, so you're getting a continuous universe, So Batman's appearance throughout this and the references of Superman all serve as like those stitchings on the quilt. What else? Joker. I loved it. Jared Leto's interpretation of Joker was awesome. Maybe aside all the tattoos and the damaged thing on his forehead, which that's just an aesthetic. It is what it is. But I thought the portrayal of Joker was really good. And again, one that, people say, well, he's just, nuts after Harley. Well, true. You don't see that a lot, but you do see glimpses of the Joker where his Harley goes away. He kind of doesn't like that. He wants his Harley. Now, once we got to the death of the family, yeah, obviously that changed. But there's been points in the past where Joker misses his Harley. He'll go after Harley. So, but I thought it was executed great. His interaction with Batman, I thought was awesome. Harley cracking me up too. You're ruining date night. It was awesome. Again, toward the very end, this kind of segues into the Justice League with Bruce Wayne's appearance at Amanda Waller. So again, if you haven't watched it, make sure you stay past the initial credits. For a scene all of about 2 minutes, but again, it's a segue. It's an important one. The star of the show, to be honest, Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie, I believe, if I'm pronouncing that name wrong. I apologize, but she was just dead on. Like the word pussy a lot, to be perfectly honest. But other than that, she was just dead on. Yeah, she was kind of portrayed kind of slutty-like at the beginning. Well, actually, not the beginning. Once you get past the Dr. Harleen Quinzel part, and then once she falls for the Joker and they the pole dancing and whatnot. I thought it was just executed really well. And I enjoyed Harley's appearance throughout. And yeah, is it maybe a little bit of a step back because we're reverting back to the Harley Quinn who's just mad in love, psychologically tied to the Joker, not like the independent version we're getting now. Yeah, maybe so. But I think we'll get there. To be honest, maybe not. Maybe we won't get there. But you know what? Who cares? because I thought it was just executed beautifully. Her one-liners, her off-the-wall comments were just hilarious. It was like the comic relief that just served a perfect purpose in the movie. And she gets an espresso maker at the end. Deadshot surprised me. Will Smith, not a fan, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, he did a very good job. So kudos to him. Captain Boomerang, mate, yeah, he was okay. El Diablo, kind of hesitant throughout, but he did prove to be a vital role. The sacrificial lamb, if you would, toward the very end. But you saw some remorse in him, so I did enjoy. There's the Suicide Squad's not all just bad people, right? And you did see the fatherly side to Deadshot, but Diablo's the one that's kind of remorseful because he realized what he did was wrong. What he does is wrong, and he doesn't want to do it again because he realizes the things that happen. So it was good to see a remorseful character in the bunch. Killer Croc, meh. Maybe that could be another bad. He was uneventful, to be honest. The villain, Enchantress, Flag. I think it's Flag, Colonel Flag. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? I can't remember. Enchantress was okay. Yeah, I mean, it was a decent villain. I think it served its purpose. Was it a perfect villain choice? No, but one that, they kept a good job. No one knew about it going in, so I was surprised. And that was the villain, her and her brother, whatnot. So, but I will say, and then Amanda Waller was also awesome. A lot of people who are not really too familiar with the character are like, why? She's such a bitch. And you know what? That's the point. In the source material, she is a bitch. And she executed really well. So, ta-da. I like the Easter eggs throughout. The one scene where you had Joker and Harley parading around, and then in the outfit you saw in the classic Alex Ross wardrobe, that was awesome. What else was there? Oh, there was a couple more. I just had like 3 in the top of my head, and I just lost them. Whatever. But yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else to say other than I think there's a lot of scrutiny in this unjustly. This is one you just have a good time. I had a blast. It's just, is it up to the standard of great movies? No, but maybe that's not meant to be that way. It's just one that meant to have a good time. I mean, I saw Deadpool. I mean, I meant it. I mean, I admit it. I went to see it. Is it a perfect movie? No, but I had a good time seeing it. And I think the Suicide Squad's the same type of thing. It was just one of those movies. It's not perfect, but I had a good time watching it. To me, I think this was better than Deadpool, but be that as it is what it is. But yeah, if I had to rank it, I think I would also give this a 4 out of 5. Not perfect, but man, I had a good time. I chuckled. I loved Harley in it. I got a good Batman dose in it. The Joker was great. And overall, it was a good story concept. I mean, bring the team together, Task Force X, to go against this event that happened in the city with Enchantress, and just run with it, and the goofiness that can come about it. And you get some good character development. I mean, Deadshot, you kind of appreciate him a little more. Now, as far as a sequel goes from here, I don't know if we have a Suicide Squad movie sequel, but the spin-offs, I mean, the Batman solo movie, who's his main antagonist going to be? Is it going to be Joker? Is it going to be Deadshot? I don't know, because there was a heavy reference to the Deadshot-Batman rivalry in this movie. Oh, the other Easter egg I wanted to mention, Harley Quinn's intro, as they're kind of giving stats about all the characters. She mentions, killed Robin. And, if you saw that notice, the Batman versus Superman scene when Batman's walking through the Batcave, and it has, Robin's armor, and it was, joke's on you, Batman, ha ha ha. I'm obvious we're going to visit that later, so that was a good little Easter egg. And, all in all, it was fun. The Colonel, I was named Colonel, and, what was her name? Doctor, the human side of the Enchantress. I enjoyed that. Again, Waller was a bitch, but a bitch with a point. She was executed great. And I just had a blast. It was a good time. 4 out of 5. don't be so nitpicky with some of these movies. I don't think it's meant to be that way. And heaven forbid, sometimes I think simply because it's a DC movie, you're going to get some knocks. Just my opinion. It's just an observation. Can I prove it? No, but I think it's an opinion, to be perfectly honest. But that's a conspiracy theory. I got enough conspiracy theories running around. We don't need one more. Anyway. But if you didn't like it, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying wrong. It's just my opinion. I had a good time, but I would say don't be so nitpicky. Don't look for the little critique, the little wrongdoings in the movie. If you have a good time, just have a good time. And this, I think, was another example of maybe I just had a good time. So, anyway, those are my 2 thoughts on the movies. Killing Joke, Suicide Squad. It was a great weekend for bad movies, for me, anyway. And sorry about that, camera cut off again. Let me know in the comments below what you thought if you saw these 2 movies. We'll bat chat about it. And until next week, take care, everybody.